for our discussion about recruiting and the sharing the opportunity of our wonderful Beachbody life. So this is a dash to diamond, so hopefully we can share some tidbits with you and get you motivated and inspired to try some of them and bring you 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 steps closer to your diamond, your personalized shiny diamond. So just to give you a little bit about myself, I am a mom of 4, oldest in college, youngest in 4th grade. I'm a soccer mom, and I keep busy. I'm a teacher also, and I love Beachbody. I started last April and became a coach because of my my goals, and I achieved my goals and people started seeing it. So I jumped on in and started coaching it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I love it. How about you, Steph?
Yeah, so for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Steph Cram. I am a full-time working mom. So I'm sure that there's probably some of you guys in the group who are trying to find that balance between working your business and doing something full-time, balancing the family at home. And this has been something I'm still working towards. A lot of the goals that I'm trying to crush too, but I'm right there with you in balancing all that. So I think between Amy and I, to give you guys a little bit of perspective, because we both do things completely differently. There's things that work really, really well for both of us that hopefully you can take away and kind of figure out what's going to work best for you. So what we will do, you guys, I think we tried getting most of us muted. If you are not already, if you can mute your line, especially those of you guys on the phone, we are recording this. So we'll post this in the FitForce YouTube page for everyone to view later. And don't forget too, there is a chat option if you are online. So if you have a question, we're going to try and make this pretty engaging. So that way, we want you guys to get as much value out of this as possible, but there's also a chat box. So if you have questions, feel welcome to use the heck out of this, and ask away, and we'll be there for you too. So, what I'm going to do, we've got a couple slides that we want to share for you. So give me a hot minute.
Can we just raise of hands and see if everybody can hear us? We had a chat that said we couldn't. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome, y'all. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. So you guys are going to see some messiness here. All right. Okay. Can you guys see the screen? It should say recruiting, sharing the opportunity. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. No, go back. All right. So we're going to walk through this with you guys here. As I introduce myself, I'm Steph Cram. I'm a diamond leader. Lauren is my upline sponsor. I've been coaching. It'll be 2 years in May. And this is really something Amy and I are both pretty pumped to talk to you guys about how to present the opportunity, because it can be really nervous. Like, what do I say? How do I go about doing this, especially if you're just starting to build that momentum? So hopefully there's some things that you guys can take away from this. And while we're going through this, definitely have a pen and paper handy, but also grab an extra piece of paper too, because we're going to kind of share some extra snippets with y'all too along the way. So, all right. Amy, let me know when you want me to flip through this, darling. We'll go to the next slide for you.
Well, this particular slide says building my team one person at a time. And we here, Steph and I decided that this was going to be kind of like a puzzle theme to this, because we feel like each of us are unique individuals, yet when we come together for the common good, or the come together for our Beachbody world, our love of fitness and health, then we build an amazing, colorful, strong, and healthy picture. And we all link together and we make a powerhouse. So it's also very important for us to share with you that everyone in Beachbody, everyone in the world, just like a snowflake, we're all unique. And it's important to remember that we need to personalize our Beachbody opportunities to the particular person you're talking with. It can't just be one size fits all.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties on my end. Oh my God, Steph, get it together. So the next slide that we're kind of connecting with is really being able to share with you a duplicatable system. And sometimes the first place to start is making that connection with people that you're already working with. And we can talk about the conversations that we have with people to get them set up with a challenge group as a challenger, the questions that we ask, trying to pair them with a program that fits them the best. Not every people that you talk to is going to have the same needs, the same goals. And the same is true with the people that you're talking to about coaching. So this is really, when Amy said this isn't a cookie cutter process, what we want to share with you, and we'll kind of get through this in future slides, is to teach you that duplicatable system that's going to give you a foundation, but it's still going to make it personalized. And so kind of bringing you back to those puzzle pieces, we want you to think about that as you're talking to people. You're not always going to have the same conversation with the same two people. You want to get the same information and really peeling back those layers, but you ultimately want to customize this opportunity to fit their needs just like you would with a challenger and pairing them up with a program.
Our job is basically just what it says, to inspire and to encourage them to have success. Because we know once they feel that success and they feel like they're losing weight or they're seeing themselves lowering their cholesterol or whatever is their reason, they will want to continue and then motivate on to coaching.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we typically see, and I don't know about you guys, but I know when I first got started in building my team, this was something that I was so nervous about, is just, I was so afraid of being that pushy used car salesman that I was so afraid to just ask someone if they were interested in the opportunity. And I think the first thing that we wanted to talk about was really remember what fears you had, what made you apprehensive, but then why is it that you became a coach? And, the blessing is in the journey. Not every single one of us are at our ideal fitness goal. Not every single one of us are where we want to be with the business. But I think we have to sit back and think about where would we be? How would our lives be different if we didn't have our upline coach that was courageous enough to reach out and ask us if this was something that would be a good fit? And so, definitely something, as coaches, we are essentially leaders, whether or not we have a team, whether or not we're at that point. We kind of have to put those fears and put our selfishness aside and think more on how this can bless someone else's life. And, Amy, I know you were going to talk about a couple things here, so I'll turn this over to you to finish up on this slide here.
Well, I know she's very brave at asking people to coach right off the bat, and I'm more at this point, 10 months into this journey, more just sit back and watch a little bit. So I get them excited to join the challenge groups, and then I watch them as challengers and see what they're doing, how they're interacting with other people in the group, if they're posting motivational quotes for other people to, be blessed by. If they are participating, posting their workouts, posting food, whatever, to me, then that's signaling that they're really a natural kind of coach, and that's kind of where I'm looking. I'm looking for people that are like me, who just jumped in it for me, for your own benefit, your own health benefit, and then saw an amazing world of opportunity, thanks to my coach, Brooke King. But I'm looking for people that are like me to join my team, people that are in my niche. And those are like soccer moms and teachers. So, I'm just trying to find people like me, and we can complement each other. So,
and Amy kind of mentioned too, so we'll share with you guys a couple ways. Like she said, one of the things that I started doing is, we all talk about the customer to coach conversion. And so I think it's figuring out how comfortable you are with actually being able to ask. And I remember hearing on a team training call, it was maybe a couple months ago, and I was always so afraid of being that. I never wanted someone to look at me and go, well, Steph's looking at me and she sees dollar signs, or she's trying to push something on me. And so I was always afraid to ask. And I heard someone say, it's like going out to a restaurant and you've got a great server. They're there to take care of you. And you're almost offended if they don't ask you at the end of your meal if you want dessert, right? And so really presenting this opportunity, what makes this any different? You're asking them, is this something you'd be open-minded to? And for me, I was like, I used to wait tables when I was in college, and I'm like, I was never afraid to ask someone, like, you want to take a look at the dessert menu? Like, the chocolate cake's amazing. But for some reason, looking at this, I was so petrified of asking. And that analogy may click with you too. Let them be the one to make the decision. And so one of the things that I do, especially if I'm talking to a challenger. So let's use an example. If I'm talking to someone and I'm getting them set up in one of my challenge groups, I'm asking questions. I'm explaining to them the value of Shakeology. And then before I get them set up, I will tell them, okay, you've got one of two options. The first option, the second option doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I want you to decide what's best for you. The first option is we can get you signed up as a preferred customer. We all know this is like a discount coach. And especially if you want to use Shakeology, if you like this, you want to take advantage of discounts, here's what it is. You can cancel at any time. There's no pressure to sell. You don't have to do a darn thing but focus on you. Or you can, just purchase as a customer, and you can go through the 30 days and you can decide from there if you want to continue. Most of my customers continue with Shakeology or Performance Line past the 30 days. So you're saving a little bit of money and you're focusing on your own journey. So I started that mental shift in my business and presenting that to them and giving them that information right before getting started, because think of how most of us got started. I don't know about you, but I signed up as a coach because I wanted the discount on the shakes, so I had no intention of working the business. It actually took me 6 months to decide, like, this is really something that I could do. So put yourself in that position. Like Amy said, she has a different approach of asking. So I think it's figuring out what you're comfortable with, but don't be afraid to ask. Let them decide. And I think the other point on here, not signing your life away. Y'all, I am quite the commitment phobe, and part of it comes from my mama teaching me that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So I am that person, like, God bless Lauren. I drilled her for hours with questions after question after question. I did all this homework on the back end because I wanted to make sure that I was making the best decision for me about this quote unquote opportunity. So share those reservations with people. It humanizes the fact that this is not, too good to be true, that this, you had the same fears, you had the same questions, but if this isn't for you, it's okay. You're not stuck. They're not going to be penalized. And I think that makes people feel better that, you're not just drinking the Kool-Aid. You had the same questions and reservations too.
Well, now you have that cute little white piece of paper that we asked you to get out there, besides the one that you're writing notes on. We would like you to pause for just a moment, just like 15 seconds. You can always do this more later, but pause just a moment and remember why you became a coach. And then think about some of the questions that you asked, some of the things that worried you about that big coaching word, okay? So just jot something down really quick. Tell us what worried you, because guess what? That might be what's worrying anybody else that you're talking to too, because you're finding people that are like you.
I'll break the ice and share mine. I don't know if y'all can read it. I did not want to sell. When Lauren was first talking to me, I was like, so do I have to sell stuff? Am I going to be like those crazy rap people? I'm trying to see if we can see other people.
Oh, where's mine? Not knowing it all. Whoops, sorry, back up. Time. Good. Who else is up there?
Inventory. Ooh. That's a good one.
Andrea, I can't read it. You might have to put it in chat and we'll share. Courtney, I can't read it either. Sorry. Okay, this was a great idea, but discount. There we go. And Datkins, we're just looking at a picture. Okay, here I'm trying to decipher another language. A time commitment, how to invite. Okay, good. Mm. Oh, Nicole said not being fit enough, fear of rejection, not being a health and fitness expert. See, we all know, we're all worried about the same kind of things, just like the people that we're going to talk to. So break the ice and let them know that, hey, it all works. We're all in this together. And just like that third bullet says, coaching buddies are a team. Remember, together, everyone achieves more. We can do this. We're together. You are not alone. I know in our Goal Diggers, we have like so many resources. FitForce, we have so many resources. We never should have to make something up from scratch, but we do anyway. But we have so many people out there that have already gone this road and have prepared it for us. We're just follow their lead and add our extra spice to it.
Mhm.
So, okay.
All right. So we'll go back to the big screen, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Awesome, awesome. So the next thing is we got to steal this from Shalene, your dream tribe, building your tribe. Ultimately, and we wanted to include this pick too, like attracts like. And when you think about what type of coach you want to have as part of your team, essentially what you're doing is you're establishing your own culture. Who are people that are maybe not exactly like you, but think of your closest girlfriends that you love hanging out with, that you spend so much time together with. That's the type of people that you probably want to have as part of your tribe. You get each other and you're like-minded. You may not all have the same goals, but these are people that you genuinely love hanging out with. Because if you think about in your immediate upline, if you think of even within FitForce as a whole, a lot of our closest friends are people that we've met through this opportunity. So, these are people that you would ultimately want to surround yourself with.
I think you hit it all. We can move on.
Boom. So here's on your piece of paper, here's one of the other things that we wanted you to take a trial at is when you think of your ideal coach, sometimes it's important. Yes, it's nice to think that we can attract everyone, but to be completely real with you, not everyone is going to be attracted to you. You're not going to be able to relate to everyone, and that's okay. Y'all, that is something I'm such a people pleaser that I struggled with, that I thought I could help everyone and it's rainbows and unicorns. And realistically, the coaches that I did have that didn't make it were because I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. And they weren't someone that was part of my tribe. They weren't part of my culture. So on that piece of paper, I want you to think of 10 characteristics that describe your ideal coach. And when we talk about these characteristics, I challenge you to think of attributes and not like I'm a mom and I work full time and I'm a former athlete. Like, I don't want you to think of those things. I want you to think of characteristics. So we gave you a couple examples here. Maybe it's someone who's passionate, who's busy, who's creative. So we're going to give you guys a minute or two. See if you can come up with this list. And the challenge is when you come up with that list, circle 3 qualities that are not your strengths, you personally, that are maybe things that you can improve upon, but that you would love for a coach on your team to possess. I'm going to decrease the screen for a sec. All right, guys. If anyone, for those of you, like if you've been able to rattle them off and you want to share any of yours, or even if you're brave enough to share maybe like some of your 3 characteristics, like feel welcome to, unmute your line and share a couple of them just to kind of throw around some ideas. And, there may be things that someone else would share that you're like, oh yeah, that would be really cool to have.
A couple of mine were caring, faith-centered, creative, and energetic. I've been learning a lot through the challenge groups and just life in general, just to try to keep it real and trying to add a little more of my faith into my challenge groups and into my Facebook and stuff like that to reach out in that direction too. Nicole said carefree and fun.
I like someone that's independent and enthusiastic and a go-getter and resourceful.
Nice. I like those too.
Someone that is my three that my top three are organized, a finisher, and passionate.
That's awesome. Well, and y'all, I'll share with you too. So 2 of my 3 qualities that, like when I made my list, that I can personally improve upon because I suck at life at these is creative and patient. So, and there's a reason why we wanted you to think of these 3 qualities and not forget about them. Because I will tell you, I need, like, this is why I love Pinterest. I can have an idea, but I need to see it first. And I'm like, oh, I could do that and add my own flavor to it. I am probably the least patient person in the entire world. So if I could have a coach on my team who is like laid back and chill, the whole idea with this, you guys, is part of being a team is sometimes you can balance each other's strengths and weaknesses. So, you know, while my strength may be being able to manage, or at least fake it till I make it, like manage my time and balance all the hustle, I need, you know, a coach that is on my team that, you know, like I'll give Becky, who's on the call here, extremely like, she keeps me in line and, hey, Steph, be like, maybe want to double check this. Like, I need someone to almost keep me in check and hold me accountable because that's a strength that I don't possess and she does. So the idea of when you look at the coaches on your team, how can you balance your strengths or your weaknesses with someone else's strengths? And that's going to make you stronger as a team. So don't discount that when you're looking at other coaches, you guys, or how to develop them and help make them better leaders too.
And once again, going along with the theme of the puzzle fits together. All those pieces can interlock a lot better if we are unique. We all have some strengths, some gifts and talents that need to be shared out there in the world, and together we can make it happen.
All right. Let me see if I can, let me get back to the screen. All right, so this next screen, I want to highlight a couple things with you guys because one of the things that I know scared the living daylights out of me that probably scares you a little bit is well, how do I, on top of the element of inviting and actually asking someone if they want to be interested in the opportunity to coach, doing it in a manner that doesn't make it seem like you have a hidden agenda. And I wanted to kick off and talk you through this screen because one of the things about me, you guys, like I said, I work full time. I actually have been in recruiting and staffing for about 10 years. And most recently on the third party and corporate side. Now, any of you, if you've worked with a recruiter or a headhunter, probably one of the first couple things that comes into your mind is like, okay, I've got someone that's calling me about a job opportunity and they don't know if I want it or not. Like I used to work with those people that would find someone on LinkedIn or Career Builder, and I would sit there and listen. They'd pick up the phone. They're like, I've got this job and here's what you're going to make. And here's the job you're doing. What do you think? And they're leading with the job. They're leading with the position and not taking the chance and figuring out what makes that person tick. And I was really, really blessed to have a mentor when I worked in third-party recruiting that taught me a lot of things that I've been able to translate not only into my corporate role, but into what I do as a team builder. And that is how to peel back the layers. And he basically taught me 2 things. One, my job was to know my client and know my candidate and to get the story behind whether it was the job or the resume. And these are things that I do even when I'm talking to people about the coaching opportunity. And so I'll give you a perfect example. You know, a lot of times when we have someone that's like, yeah, I'm interested in coaching, I'm interested in learning more. our first instinct, it's human nature to like word vomit and like, awesome, so here's what you're going to do, and here's this training, and here's this, and here's that. Because why? We get so excited that someone told us yes. And realistically, that's when we need to slow our roll. And so what I want to challenge you to do, what I'm going to share with you are a couple tips that I've used both in my full-time job and even within my team. And I've taught my coaches to do this. And what it does is it gives you it puts you in a different position, and it makes you a little bit more genuine. So as a recruiter, if I found someone, now y'all, I used to recruit engineers. So you want to talk about a hard sell, like these people are wired very differently, very analytical. So I would find a candidate, and what I would do, I'd reach out, hi, my name is Steph Cram, and I know we haven't spoken before, but I came across your information. I wanted to see if this was a good time in your career where it's in your best interest to consider making a change. So you see how I led with the question? I wanted to learn more about them first. And there were some times that I'd have people say, no, I'm not really interested. No, not right now. And I'd say, great, would you mind if I kept your information? And if something comes up or if anything changes on your end, to be able to reconnect with you. Totally not pushy, right? And so I do the same thing. If I'm talking to someone that I think would be a good coach, and hey, is this something that you'd be open-minded with? Nope, not right now. No worries. Would you mind if I kept your information? I followed up with you in a couple months. Or do you know someone who may be interested in learning more? And that goes on my follow-up list, right? So, well, what if I have someone that says, well, yeah, I may be interested. Tell me a little bit more. Human nature is first instinct. Oh, they're interested. Let me just tell them all the information. Nope. Next question I would ask is, hey, I want to certainly tell you more about the opportunity I have, but first, I want to know what specific criteria are you looking for to determine what is a good fit? So when we look in the conversation with coaching, maybe it's someone that, maybe they're already drinking Shakeology. Maybe it's someone that wants to earn extra income, or like we have, they want accountability in their own journey. They want that extra time with their family. They want that freedom. How are we supposed to know that unless we ask them first? So I would challenge you, when someone says, yeah, I may be interested in learning more, instead of first giving them information, take the time and ask questions. Peel back the layers and figure out what makes them tick. Really, so that's great. What is it that has you interested in learning more about this? What are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve? Where is it that you want to go with this business? Because that's going to give you an opportunity to learn more about them. As a recruiter, I take this information. This is valuable, because then what I do is I take this and I listen to what they say, and I then present the opportunity to fit them based on what they're telling me. And this is what I do in my full-time job. If someone says, yeah, I want an opportunity where I feel like I'm being challenged, where there's room for mobility, where I'm not working 24/7, I want more structure, then I'm going to tell them those things about that job that truly fit that, or I'm going to be honest with them and saying, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but I want to tell you, I don't think that this is going to fit based on what you're telling me. You guys, let me tell you, most people do not expect that type of genuine and sincere response. Most people expect for you to be salesy, right? And that's majority of us that genuinely have our hearts in it. That's not what we want to be. We don't want to be that salesperson. So it's building that relationship right off the bat, because now you care more about that person than you do yourself. And you're taking the time to learn more about them. What person, if you're like, how are you doing? Tell me more about you. What person does not like talking about themselves? So it's giving you a chance to learn more about them. So take the opportunity, peel back those layers, figure out what makes them tick. And if they're telling you the things that align with what this opportunity has to offer, then be honest and share those pieces with them. Don't talk to someone about, yes, we want people that are going to run with us and build their own business and make this successful. But if you're talking to someone, they're like, dude, I just want a discount on my shakes. You cannot push the opportunity on them, because you are going to push them away. You have to fit their needs based on what their why is right now. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Amy, am I missing anything?
No, that was very good. We just like we said, we're here to get, to promote our business, of course, but we're out there to end the trend of obesity. We're out there to help people, and we're doing it in a genuine manner. We're making sure that people don't feel like just a number. We want to personalize it and make them successful. Otherwise, in the end, really, it doesn't look good for us as a coach anyway if those people aren't successful. So we have a big job, but remember, we're shooting for like Success Club 5 or Success Club 10 every month. That means 3 to 5 people a month we can help, okay? It's not like we need to have 20 people or anything like that. We are talking about keeping it small and really taking care of them for the long run because we're on the journey together.
Mm-hmm. And I'll kind of kick it to the next level here because I know, I mean, we're all in this group, we're all on this call because we want to take our business to the next level. We ultimately want people that are going to be part of our team that are going to run with us. So, okay, Steph, okay, Amy, so what do we say if we're talking to someone and they want to work the business too? Like, how do we bridge that gap? What I would challenge you to do is continue to ask questions. Ask them, you know, where they want to go with this business. What things do they want to achieve? What is their timeline like? What keeps them motivated? The more you ask them, the more you're going to be better able to not only lead them down the right path, but you're also going to be able to help mentor them along the way.
All right, and most of you, I'm sure, maybe all of us have already seen this type photo off Google Images, but it really sums up the 3 different kinds of coaches that we have in Beachbody. And most of our coaches on our team are probably going to be discount coaches, and that's just fine. We need them too. They build our volume, they do all sorts of wonderful things for us, and we're helping them because they love getting a discount on their Shakeology. So it's a win-win, it really is. So the next level of coach is the hobby coach. It's like Steph and I, we have full-time jobs. We love the products and enjoy sharing them with others, but guess what? We want to move it a little bit further, and we want to be the business builder. So we're all in because our dream is that life of freedom. Our dream is to help even more people to grow a team, to just, I don't know, just to continue on our journey and I guess ultimately be the best person that we can in our lives. However we do it, in everybody's way, everybody's path is unique. I don't know. Let's see, the only thing that's really not on here, just remember, since I always think about military families because I'm a military vet and my husband is a retired military officer too. And just remember that military does not have to pay any of the monthly coaching fees. Military also does not have to pay the $40 registration fee. So keep that in mind. You know, use that as one of the little nuggets to look for when you're talking to people because who knows who out there that you're talking to might already be a military person and would jump on this opportunity even more quickly if they knew that little golden nugget. So.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, you guys, I'll just jump in and add, because I know, like Amy mentioned this earlier too, really be able to understand the pulse of your prospects. If you're talking to someone and the coach title scares the living snot out of them, but they still they want the discounts and it's something they're interested in, you know, we mentioned earlier, change it up, call it a preferred customer. So there's not the pressure that someone feels like they have to sell. Again, you know, Melanie Mitchell even talked about this in her national wake up call. She started as that discount coach and on her own journey, and look at where she is now. Like, you never know what may change, when that switch is going to go off, if it's going to go off in anyone's minds. So, you know, present it in a way that's going to benefit them right now. So if it means changing up, you know, no, you don't have to coach anyone. You're a preferred customer. You get the figure out what works for that person, and still be there to love on them and, you know, treat everyone all the same, but, you know, at least give the opportunity.
And just remember, most of us started out as discount coaches and never had even thought about making this a business. So everybody starts somewhere, and then once you get into it, it gets in your blood and you just have so much fun and you just become so energized through the challenge groups that you want to share this opportunity with everybody.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing, you guys, we wanted to chat about, you know, especially when it comes to social media. You know, it's easy to have some of these conversations if you're in private messages or you're talking to people one-on-one, but how do you present the opportunity? What do you say? How do you get it out there without being literal, like, hey, join my team on social media? So we wanted to share with you and kind of end with a couple snippets to help you leave a trail of breadcrumbs. And I think it was mentioned even in a previous National Wake Up Call, like your social media page should kind of be like a sneak peek into what it is that you do as a coach. And I know when I first got started, I was so excited that I was probably obnoxiously annoying in all my posts, and I didn't understand that balance, and you may be that way too. So, you want to make sure that everything that you're posting on social media truly is genuinely and authentic to you, and it's going to be things that are going to draw those people that are like-minded, that get you, that are probably part of your tribe, that's going to draw them to you. And how to engage them by creating that content that's relatable, that is eye-catching, that's engaging, but it's giving those subtle messages. And we even said in here, you want to share your personal story. And one of the things that I share with my coaches all the time is you are more than Beachbody. Beachbody is the vehicle that's going to get you to that destination, but it's not all that you are. And so really, really think about that. 80% of what you post on social media should be about your life. It should be about what you're going through and, the good, bad, and the indifferent. 20% of it should be the business. And if you look back on your social media page and you're posting more about the business than you are your personal life, you should probably sit back and reevaluate that, because not everyone is going to understand the business if they're not in the throes of it every single day. So share more of the snippets of, not every single one of us, while I want to sit back and be like, oh, I'm walking away from my full-time job because of this. I'm not there yet. So don't forget about those small little victories that you can celebrate. What are the small blessings that this opportunity has done for you? Because in reality, those huge stories, people quitting their full-time job, people paying down $100,000 of debt, people that are making six-figure incomes, that's great. But think about even when you first got presented with this opportunity, what made you take that leap? It was because your coach or someone that shared something that was relatable to you. And that could be, I paid for groceries, or I paid for my car payment, or, it could be something small. So don't discount any of those small milestones and victories, but you have to be courageous enough to share that.
And when you're posting on your social media, as we all well know, and we try to stand by, try to stay away from all those stock photos, because we want it to be real. We want it to be about you and your life with Beachbody and life with your family, whatever. Don't put your website right up on there, because then that looks really salesy and stuff too. Just always say, hey, I'll send you a message, or whatever, however you want to say it in a reply, but don't put your website on there, and never put any prices. Rarely you'll see us put a flash sale when we're doing this, that, whatever, maybe in the Christmas and July thing. I can't remember when the last one was, but that's rare when we put that, because we don't want to be like the other groups that are using Facebook just to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Our job, I feel, or our goal is to be genuine and to be positive, and in everything we do, every post we make, we're trying to add value to those people's lives. We're just going to be real about it. We're trying to make their lives better, inspire and motivate them for the long journey.
Mm-hmm. So, and the last tip too, you guys, aside from those of us that live, eat, and breathe in this every single day, people that are just passively watching you and following you on social media, they don't know what it means to be part of your team. They don't know what it means necessarily to be a coach. So, part of when we say share your personal story is leave those trail of breadcrumbs. Don't feel like you've got to vomit everything in one long post that no one's going to read. Leave little tiny nuggets along the way with every single post, and have that very subtle circle on really what this means, because you never know where that's going to connect with someone, where that's going to flip the switch. And there's people that I've talked to that are like, oh my gosh, I've always wondered what it is that you really do. And so what you want to do is open an opportunity, invite for there to be some sort of conversation to then take that deeper dive. But, you know, on your social media, you should be kind of like Hansel and Gretel. You should be leaving those breadcrumbs, you know, along the way that's going to invite for that conversation. All right, Amy girl, I'll turn it over to you, girlfriend.
Then they're your team. It's forming. Look, and it's all coming together. We have all that, all the research that we've done. We've been connecting with many different people. We've been having that teamwork show up. We have a vision. We have our dream. We have goals and the strategies to get to those goals. I mean, everything about it, all those puzzle pieces are now finally finding their matches, and that's where the success begins. So just go out there and remember the 3 things that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be a product of the product. We're supposed to invite, and then don't forget, work on your personal development. Keep those 3 things in mind every single day in everything you do, and I guarantee you these puzzle pieces just fall together. They will just start coming together, and you will be amazed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So y'all, what we'll do, we can open this up if y'all have any questions, or there's something where, all right, Steph, all right, Amy, this wasn't very clear. Can you elaborate? So what we'll do, we'll keep this recording just in case there's any really good nuggets, but feel welcome if you've got a question, you can unmute yourself, or you can mention something in the chat box, and you know, we'll try and help as best we can.
No questions?
We didn't miss a thing. What?
Everybody's ready to go diamond this month, I guess. That's awesome.
You
Oh
guys,
my God.
I will tell you. Oh, sorry. I will tell you, one of the things, I know I struggled with this too, because it is like that title, that rank of diamond is like, it's so luxurious, and it is like, it's a big deal. But the best piece of advice that I would give you is, you know, at some point you've got to be able to just focus and do you. You know, it's a blessing. Amy and I were talking today, like, it's a blessing, and probably sometimes equally as much of a curse to be part of such an amazing upline family, because, you know, it never fails. Every Thursday we see like the accolades and the recognition, and, you know, people that are like in 1 year, 2 years, like they crush it. And like Amy and I were talking today, and it's like, dude, I'm coming up on 2 years and I'm like still trucking away. Like, what am I not doing? It's so easy to get caught up in, well, if so-and-so can do it, then I should be able to do it too. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And I want you to remember that. You know, remember why you are doing this. And if you get too caught up in that hustle and you start chasing after someone else's goals and someone else's dreams, not only are you taking your eye off of what is important to you, but what type of message are you sending to now your team of coaches? You see what I'm saying? So there does have to come a point. Don't give up that dream. Don't give up that push. But you have to, at some point, put your blinders on and focus on you and not getting caught up in that comparison game, because that will take away the joy of the journey.
That's it. No questions?
Boom.
I have a question. What do you guys do? I think for me, so I'm diamond and my goal is to shoot to at least 2-star before summit. What do you do? I think, and I work it like crazy, plus I'm a mom, full-time job. I find it to motivate my girls, even the ones that are working the business, to find people to get to that next level, to get to me to the next level.
Are you like, in terms of helping them find people, or how to mentor and motivate your own?
I guess mentor and motivate them, because I can't do it for them,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. I will tell you one thing that, because I've struggled with that too. You've got to be willing to run with the willing. And, you know, I've started saying with my team, like I set expectations in the beginning, and I say, look, If you walk, I will walk. If you run, I run. And if you sprint, I promise you, I will keep up with you. But I also sit back and I know my coaches on my team. I know those who want to work the business. I know those who are kind of dipping their toe in the water. But those that want to work the business, I ask them, like, where is it that you want to go? What does your timeline look like? What do you need? Where do you need to be 6 months, 3 months, 1 month from now? And are you doing the things that you need to do to get there? I ask them questions. And part of that is, you know, what can I do to help hold you accountable? And sometimes it's just, it's being there as that mentor, and it's teaching them how to step up and be a leader instead of necessarily pushing them to get towards those goals. You know, because you can push all you want, but you know, there comes a point that they've got to do it if they want it. So I would say I would run with the willing and love like hell the ones that are willing to sprint with you and be there to support them. And ultimately there's going to come a point where you got to keep focusing on recruiting other people that want to run with you, you know?
Just make sure that they're, you know, jumping in on some personal development and stuff like that too. Something that might motivate or inspire them. Figure out what their why is and keep them focused on that. Keep reminding them, you wanted to do this because, or you're doing this because, you know. But you know what? I mean, like you said, you can't run it for them, and everybody's at a different point in their life, and they have different goals. And they might not totally mesh up, but they might later. They're just not there yet. So, and in the beginning, it's so overwhelming too. I mean, you know, still today, I'm learning new things like every single day, and you just have to just take it as fast as you can, you know.
And Nikki, I know you had a question too, dear.
I did have a question. It was predominantly about you guys talking about finding your tribe, and like-minded people that are like you, and then I guess you guys talking about fostering their why within them and showing it to them. I think my biggest question with that is, what if someone's why, I know they're always going to change because your life situation is constantly evolving, but what if they change frequently and it's more of like the goal continues to change, so it's kind of like how are you going to help them get to that goal if it's always changing? Does that?
Yeah.
So.
Maybe I'd ask them two questions. One, what is their, I don't want to say their IQ rate, like what is their I quit rate? Like, this is what you're telling me you want to do, but what is going to be that breaking point for you to not show up? Like, what would make you quit? What would make you not work towards that goal? The second thing I would ask them is, who's depending on you to do this? Because, and you know, and I don't know like the certain circumstance that you have, but I know that I had a coach probably about 5-6 months ago that they wanted to do this and they wanted to focus on improving their health. And well, who's depending on you? Well, my family. So, okay, you're telling me here's your goals, and I would write it down. I'd hold them accountable. And if they didn't show up on team calls, if they didn't show up in training, they weren't doing the things that I'm telling them, look, if you do this, you will get this. If X, you know, then Y. I would come back and I'd say, hey, so do you remember when you told me that here's why you're doing this? And, you know, if this happens, then you'd walk away. You're not pulling your end of the bargain. What's going on? How can I help? So again, I'm being more of that trusted advisor, that liaison, and I'm putting the accountability back on them. And, you know, there comes a point that they've got to kind of own up to that. And, you know, I would maybe say, like, if it's someone that maybe has that struggle with accountability and actually showing up, I used to be so guilty. Like, I would call and check in with this coach every single day. I would call them. Well, now I'm the enabler, because what are they accountable for? You know, so start saying, okay, I'm here with you, but here's what I need you to do. I need you to check in and send me this. I need you. And it's not to babysit, but give them responsibility. And if they're not willing to do it, it's kind of like those of us who are parents and have kids, your actions are going to speak louder than your words. And I ain't going to punish you, but I'm going to spend more of my time on those that are showing up every day and are working towards it. And I'm not going to give the bad kid all the bad attention, if that makes sense.
Well, and the other thing is, when you're running challenge groups and stuff, get them involved in your challenge groups, and then that makes them feel like they're actually needed,
Just like when we're teaching, like what we do to the kids that oh my gosh, yeah, I'm sorry. Steph just, when she said, don't give the bad kid the bad attention,
It is, and seriously, and I can use my own kids as examples, right? Emma is she's good. She is such a good kid. But there's 1 or 2 times that she gets her mama's attitude and she snips. And I'm like, ooh. And everything good that she did that day completely goes out the window because I'm fixated on that one bad thing. And it's why do we do that? And it's the same with our coaches, right? We forget about the small little things that they do well. And we get fixated on what they don't do. And that's what gives them that attention. We got to flip it.
Thank you very much, ladies. This call was absolutely amazing. Thank you. Oh, and Steph, all of those absolutely incredible, not blurbs, but you know what I'm saying, the nuggets that you were saying when you asked them to learn more about them when you're finding out their why and stuff. Would you mind terribly making that into some sort of document? I'm not a fast writer. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I will tell you, even Amy, I was talking to her today too, and I've learned a lot from Amy. So you guys, even after this call, if there's questions that you have, reach out to us and ask us. We both have completely, and that's why this was so good for us to collaborate together, because we both have different ways of doing things and running our teams. And Amy shared things with me today. I'm like, girl, that's good. Why am I not doing? So reach out to us and ask us. And, that's what we're here as a team. There ain't no secrets. So feel welcome to reach out, and we're more than happy to help you guys.
For true. Yes. Thanks for taking your evening, and thanks for participating with the little sheets of paper. Hopefully you can use those. Think about them some more tonight and tomorrow, and help them go find your tribe. Go.
Later, Gators.
Bye.